Hello, my name's Guy Hollington. Today we're going to be looking at the creation of a glass-blown Incalmo Light, pendant light. This light is going to be white on the top with a clear bottom half that's going to have a blue streak on it. So at the moment what you're looking at is I've got a fresh gather of glass on a blowpipe. I'm adding some some enamel white frit to that. Frit is just broken up shards of glass that contains the color portion of it. And you can see I'm blocking the section up and adding a little bit of air to it just to create the starter bubble in there. To create the starter bubble, we just pop a little bit of air into the pipe, cover that with our thumb, and then the heat from the glass actually expands the air and forces the bubble into it. It's a much easier way to start a bubble than to try and blow it to start with, kind of like starting a balloon. And now we've got a second gather of glass on the blowpipe. Just block that down, and then we use this steel table in front of us that we call a marver to also control the shape of it. A little more blocking, a little more marvering, cool the tip there a little bit. It's very important to keep the heat where you want it in the piece. We're often cooling the tips so we get a little more expansion back at the base of the pipe area. Get another heat. We continually reheat in the horizontal furnace called the glory hole. And here you see I'm using the jacks and getting a little air in there. We have to create a constriction between the pipe and the glass so that it'll break off where we want. So with this light, we're first going to create the top white section, which I'm working on here. And we're going to take that off, punty it off, open that up, and then once the small cup is finished, we're going to put that away somewhere warm in an annealer just off to the side here. And then we're going to start on the bottom section, and then we're going to join the two. So I've just asked Jeff to go get me a punty now that we've got this top section pretty well done. And he's going to come back. We're going to join that punty. As you can see there, join the punty to the glass piece, break off the piece off the blowpipe, and that'll allow us to work on the other side of it. So I'm just taking that back from Jeff, and so right now we're just going to open the cup up. We're going to make basically a thick cup, which will be later blown out to expand to the top of the light section. So Jeff will help me make sure we keep that nice and level, and we're also going to use the calipers on it because when we make the bottom half, we've got to make sure that the top half and the bottom half match. So use the jacks to open that up a little bit more, just a couple more heats to check that the lip is nice and straight there, and yeah, everything is even. And then we're going to get ready to put this away in the annealer after we take a quick measurement. Great little drop of water there, and then we go off to the side here, put it on our annealer, which is sitting at around 550 degrees Celsius, a little over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, so it'll stay nice and warm in there. So now we've gone off with a new blowpipe, got a new gather of glass on the end of the pipe, and we'll come back and block that up. And then I'll ask Jeff to go and get a chunk of glass with some blue frit added to it. You can see Jeff's putting on a good layer of blue there. He'll heat that up and then put a bit of swirl in it on the marver table here, and also tip it up so that it's easier for me to attach it to the clear glass that I'm working with. So I get to just sit around now, wait for a little while Jeff does some work. Take the occasional heat on my piece just to make sure it doesn't get too cold. Yeah, looks good, Jeff. So here we go, and we'll swirl that onto the clear glass. Just like that. So now I've got clear glass with a nice blue swirl. We're done with the color. So Jeff helpfully is just clearing that out of my way. So I'll have some more space to work on this marver table. And there we go, smooth in that blue so that it's an integral part. And we're going to take another clear gather on top of this. We want to make sure that the blue is nicely embedded in the original clear so we don't trap any bubbles or any significant number of bubbles when we do the next gather. So wait for a couple of seconds for this to cool down. And then off we go to get another gather of glass. And just like we did last time, we'll block this back in. Cool the tip one more time. That again cools the tip so that there's more relative heat on the back side, and we can blow up that neck area a little bit. So again, we're just making a thick cup at this point, or thickish bubble, using the jacks to make that constriction. So this is the final place where it will all break off at the end. blow the bubble out a little further. We're looking to have roughly the same diameter, well, almost exactly the same diameter here as we did before. Now one of the tricky little bits is we've got to blow this end open, so add a lot of heat there, and you can sort of see it sort of pops the end open. Jeff was just blowing in the other end there, and that blew the end of it out. So now what we'll do is we will open that out now that we've got a hole on both ends. Jeff again helping with the paddling there to sort of thicken this edge up, and then we've got to make sure that the diameter here is the same as the diameter of the weight that we just put away. So we're getting pretty close here. Had a quick look with the calipers there, one more time perhaps. Good, yep, looking pretty good. Check the size, and then Jeff's going to go off and pick up that white piece that we just put away. And so I'll have the clear on mine, which is the bottom half of the light fixture, and Jeff's going to be bringing the top half. This is kind of quick, but he's now got that in the glory hole. So we've now got both pieces here, and we're going to go and do a test fit in just a second. Make sure that what the calipers was telling us is actually true, and it looks like it's going to go together. Yep, that looks like a reasonably good size. Very quick look there. And now we actually put it together carefully and squish and pop the punty off. And now where the two have joined, that's the hottest area. So we're going to have to cool that down and make sure that the two are really stuck together. Generally, when you touch two pieces of hot glass together, you get one piece of glass. But we want to make sure that that's stable before we start blowing it out. And another pair of calipers, because we're looking for a light that's about 9.5 inches tall. So again, the white part is going to be the top part of the light, and the clear with the swirls is going to be the bottom part. Just blowing it out to make the full size, because both those cups were fairly thick when we joined them. Now we're just thinning them out a little bit so that the light is, the right kind of weight that we want to suspend. You can see that paper takes a little bit of beating. That's just wet newspaper that's been folded up and soaked in water for a little while, and that gives us a really good feel for the glass. Lets us know how things are doing. Okay, so we got the light the right size now, so we're going to put what's called a little button on the end here. This is going to give us a nice little spot for our punty to go and make sure that it can attach and detach properly. Where that button just went on, eventually when the light is finished and cold, we're going to actually drill that area out, and that's where the electrical will go in, and then of course the bulb attaches to that. And here comes Jeff with the punty. Attach that. Great. Check that it's nice and even and break it off. And now we'll be able to finish off the final side of the light here. So we're going to now open the base of the light up now that we've got the top of the light attached to the punty. So this is the same process we used on both of the little cups. Just slowly open it up with the metal jacks there. And just ready with the paddle to make sure that the base fit stays nice and level as I open it up. Couple more heats. You have to be careful to make sure that the whole light fixture stays relatively warm, although it's just the base that you actually want to have warm enough to expand. So I'm oscillating in and out of the heat just off camera to the right there. Looks like we're getting pretty close. Open that up to a good diameter, make sure we can get our hands in there to change light bulbs, heat up the punty, and then we're going to do the takeoff. And this light will go into an annealer that's on the back side there. Pop it off, grab it with the gloves, and into the annealer it goes, and in about 12 hours it comes out ready to be used. Thanks for watching.